This is my second time making this video because knowing me, I deleted the first one. That's fun. That was an accident, but wow. Well, I guess I get to make this video twice. That's actually really fun. Okay. It's been almost a week since this happened, so I think I'm over the crying, but we'll see. I might cry, just warning. In case you didn't already know, I have my story posted on my Tumblr and it's extremely detailed. If you want to know everything I did, what we were wearing, what we were doing, all that stuff, go look at my Tumblr because that's where all of those details will get into. This video is more so just so I can show you like how she said things and what she did when like she saw us and stuff like that. So, but yeah, if you want the detailed version of this, go check that out. I'm linking it below. But this, the detail I'm going to go most into is getting rep room and meeting Taylor. And I'll generally discuss what I did before the day, like before all of that happened. And I won't be talking about Chicago Night 2, which I do mention in my story that's on my Tumblr. So go check that out. Okay. I met Taylor Swift on June 1st, 2018. This was at the Reputation Stadium Tour Chicago Night 1 show. And I will never be the same. My life has changed, not lying. That day I was awake all day, and so like I woke up really early to get ready and everything, and because I was super excited, and I probably left my house around like 3:40ish because that's when my friends came to pick me up. I went with my friend Adia and her mom. So that was our group. You can see that in our picture too, which I will probably put at the end of the video. You can also find it on any of my social media accounts, which I'll link down below as well. We went to the stadium, we went to the Getaway shop. If you didn't know, they sell merch in the Getaway shop outside of the stadium. We took pictures with the throne. They have a look-alike, look what you made me do throne outside of the stadium as well. We waited in line, we got in. The first thing we did when we got in was go to our seats because we had floor seats, and I'll explain what our seats were in a second. But we went to our seats, and guys, as soon as I walked in, I started crying. The stage is huge. It's so big. It's insane how big it is. So yeah, I started crying. And our seats were so close. So like the closer we would walk, the more emotional I would get because I had never been that close before at a concert of hers. And this just meant so much to me. And I was like, we're just so close. Then basically the whole time before the show started, during the opening acts, we would walk around. We were meeting a bunch of people were recognizing me from my Tumblr. I was with Adia. She was the icy girl, if you know what that means. So everybody was coming up to her, and it was really great. We were meeting so many of our friends from Twitter and Tumblr, and so that was seriously awesome, and I love my internet friends. You don't understand. I love them so much. Let me explain our seats now, because I should say that before the opening acts came on, we were walking around. During the opening acts, we were at our seats. So here are our seats. So here's the main stage. Here are the two catwalks. This is the side pit. Our seats were in the section right next to the side pit, and we were in the last row. So we had the 3 aisle seats of that last row, and next to us it was just like a little space and then a barricade, so we had all that room to dance around in. We were close to Club Meredith, okay? We weren't right by it or anything like that, but we could walk and run to it, and we could see the people who were inside of it, and they could see us. That was our situation, in case you were wondering. And at our show, I don't know if it's like this at every show, but at our show, all of Taylor's family sat in Club Meredith. During the opening acts, we met so many people, you have no idea. We met Papa Swift like 10 times. He high-fived us at one point. He smiled and waved at one point. We took a picture of him with some other fans, and that's when he gave us guitar picks. So we got to see him a lot. He would just walk by a lot from backstage to Club Meredith. By the way, our seats were right next to the backstage area, so you couldn't go backstage without passing our seats. We also met Paul, and we got a picture with Paul. We met Melanie, who is, I'm pretty sure, is one of Taylor's backup singers. We just waved at her. We didn't get get to get a picture, but we waved at her and she smiled and it was cute. We met Tree, and the first time Tree just smiled and waved too, but then we were walking back, she saw Adia's costume, she was like, I love that, or something along those lines, and it was awesome. We kind of freaked out a little. I also saw Martha, Hunt, and Ashley walk past us, but they're kind of far away, so I didn't say hi, but that comes into the story later. The last person we met was Mama Swift, and this was right before Taylor came out. Andrea was coming out when the song I Don't Give a Damn About My Reputation was playing, and that's the song that gets played before Taylor comes out. Adia and her mom had made a shirt for Andrea that says, "No, it's Debbie, Swifties will understand," and we gave it to her and she laughed. It was so cute. I have the video on my Tumblr. I'll link it below. Yeah. She was so sweet, and then I got a selfie with her too, and that was everybody we met before the show, and like I said, that was basically just due to the location of our seats. Then the show started. I have videos of me uncontrollably sobbing. I'm pretty sure I also have videos of me saying this is the best night of my life before I even knew I was meeting Taylor. So that's how good the show is. I literally was having the best time of my life. I seriously was. I highly recommend going to this show if you're having doubts about it. Spend the extra money, go to it. It's nothing like you've ever experienced, and Taylor has absolutely outdone herself. I don't know how she does it, and I'm not just saying that because I'm like a crazy obsessed fan. I'm saying that because it's seriously incredible. I was blown away. Wow, and I had spoiled things for myself online before, and I was still so shocked and surprised at everything that was happening, and it was absolutely incredible. So please go to the show if you can. So then, our friends, David and George, I'm pretty sure it was just George who ran up to us, but George ran up to us during, it was when Taylor was, she was walking through the crowd to get to the second B stage, and he whispers something in Adia's ear. I didn't hear it, I don't even know what they said even now, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever they do next. I'm gonna follow them because I know this is legit, right? And we just start running, and I didn't know if we were going to the B stage. I was like, okay, maybe we're running to the B stage, that seems legit, or if it had something to do with meeting Taylor. We run, and he takes us to Mama Swift, who was standing behind Club Meredith right now. And we later ended up finding out that our friends George and David, their seats were right in front of Club Meredith, and Andrea had gone up to them and asked, "Have you ever met Taylor?" And they go, "Yeah, we did," right before the show, but they go, "Wait here." And I'm pretty sure it was just George, like I said. He comes and he runs and does everything to Adia and take us to Mama Swift, and that's how that happened. That's how it happened. They're actual angels. I will forever be in debt to them for what they did to me. Seriously. And they even have an account now on Twitter called Rep Roomies. I think we're trying to start a Tumblr one where they're gonna try and help every other fan too. And guys, that's serious. They're really trying to help other fans. And so go follow that because we will retweet everybody. Don't worry about it. So they're the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life, along with Taylor. And I will forever be in debt to them. I will never have the right words to explain how much gratitude I have for them. And I just love them so much. And I'm so thankful for everything they've done for us. Even afterwards, they were so amazing. He puts his hands on Adia's shoulder and says something along the lines of, and you have to excuse me, I can't really hear when people are talking over loud things, so I really don't know exactly what he said or even what Mama Swift said to us. He said something along the lines of, this girl deserves to meet Taylor, or this girl deserves to meet Rep Room, and we had no idea what was going on right now. We don't know what's happening yet. And then I think he leaves, and Mama Swift asks Adia, how long have you been a fan? She says 12 years, and Taylor's performing Blank Space at this point, and my URL on Tumblr is dying to see how this one ends, so I was like, hold on, I want to go, catch me, singing along to it on video, and so I did that with George, and then I went back, and then I look back, and Adia is calling me. She's like, go get my mom, because her mom stayed at our seats to watch our bags and stuff, and she thought we were going to the B stage, kind of like what I thought we were doing too. And so I go back, I run back, I don't even stop to tell her anything. I just do this. I'm like, come here. And she's kind of like panicking. She's like, who do I leave the bags with? But she comes, and then I just like, come here, and then I start running, and I'm like, wait, I hope she knows where she's going. I need to check if she's coming too. So I turn back, she's coming, and I'm like, okay, I'm running. And I check again to make sure she's coming, and I'm running. And we go back. Guys, I almost threw up because I ran so much. It's dumb, but yeah. And we come back, and Mama Swift's actually talking to somebody else now, and Adia is waiting there, and Adia's mom goes up to Adia, and they talk about something, and I go back to dance with George and David again and do the blank space loop. And then once that's done, I see that Mama Swift is talking to them again, and I go up to them, and Mama Swift goes, "You're her mom? You look like you could be her sister." And it was so cute. I love Mama Swift. And then she asks, then Mama Swift asks again if Adia has, or how long has Adia been a fan for, and Adia says 12 years. Then Mama Swift says something to Adia. I don't know what she says. Adia like nods her head. Then Mama Swift asks, and you have never met Taylor? And she goes, and we go, no. And she's like, you've never ever met Taylor? And we're like, no. And we're kind of like, no, because we're like, is this really happening right now? And then I don't remember what Mama Swift said, but she said something like, well, you are tonight, or give them the wristbands. Like, she motioned to the Taylor Nation girl to give us our wristbands, and we got our wristbands, and I actually asked the Taylor Nation girl if I could give her a hug, and she said yes, and I was really happy about that. Then after that, everything's kind of a blur. We were going insane, and we didn't go to our seats right away because there's people obviously around, and somebody had filmed us, filmed a part of us getting rep room, which was insane. We're like freaking out, everybody's congratulating us. I was like, this isn't real. And then we noticed, when we were on our way back to our seats, we noticed that dress is done by now. I don't even know what's going on at this point, because we missed like everything else that happened on the B stage. And once, I see a bunch of security guards coming, and they're like, move out of the way. Like, they are so intense. And once I realized what was happening, I was like, holy shit, she's walking through the crowd. Oh my God. Once I realized that, I jumped to the side, and I stuck my hand out, and she touched it. And I was like, that hit the nail on the coffin for me, because I was like, she just touched my hand, and I get to meet her later tonight. What is this? So that happened, and then again, we don't remember anything that happened. Bad blood, should have said no, don't blame me, nothing. I remember New Year's Day and Long Live because I was freaking the fuck out, and I was crying a lot, and I think me and Adia were hugging or whatever, we were singing together. I have a video of it, and I remember Call It What You Want, and we remember Getaway Car because we were holding up 3 Go Go Go's, and and that was just, it was just insane, the rest of the show, and it was so amazing. As soon as the show ends, we don't even hesitate. We look for the nearest stairs to get to the 100 level because that's where we had to meet, and we go straight up those, but it turns out we had to go all the way to the other side of the stadium because that's where those seats were. We didn't know the section number wasn't on the front of the stadium. We couldn't see it, so we just kind of went wherever, and we ran the whole way there, and most of the people were already there by then because we had to run half of the stadium. And so, and then I noticed half the people who we had said hi to and we were hanging out with earlier, they got chosen too. And guys, that was insane. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And actually, the girl who filmed us getting rep room, she was there too. Oh my God, it was crazy. And then basically they have us sit down in the back of the section we met in. They would check if we had our wristbands and our orange slip, and they would see who's in our group. And then they would send us to the front of the section to sit in the front. And I'm sure it was just to check, to make sure we actually have wristbands and to see who we were with, right? I'm almost positive that's why. And there were actually these girls who, they asked the girls next to us if they could join their group. And the girls next to us were like, no, I don't want to get in trouble like any of us would do. And they like gave them a dirty look and they left. And I was like, you really thought that you could sneak into this? Like, what? It was ridiculous. So don't lie about these things. Don't try to sneak in. It's not gonna work. There's actually a dude who came up to us at first and he was like, if you don't have a wristband or an orange slip of paper, leave now, you're wasting your time. And I like legitimately thought, I was like, why would people be here if they didn't? And then that happened and I was like, oh, that makes sense. We get moved down to the front of the section and then they pass out this iPad that you fill out your name, your email, your phone number, and your zip code. I think that's everything. We each filled it out, and then the girl who gave us our wristbands from Taylor Nation went and explained the rules, and she says, and like she's explaining the rules, and at one point she was trying to emphasize that each group could only get one picture, and she like looks, she looks at us, she's like, oh, the 4 of you? And then we're like, oh no, it's just us 3, because the 4th girl was on the end. We were hanging out with her before the show and everything, so we wanted her to sit next to us. We were like, oh no, it's the 3 of us and she's on her own, like, because that's how it happened, right? And she was like, and the Taylor Nation girl's like, oh, you 3, I remember you. And then she goes, 1 picture. And then she like goes like, she's like, oh, I remember you guys. And then she goes like back to like, okay, 1 picture, strict rule talking mode. And so then she continues telling us the rules. She goes up and tells the people in the back who were like behind us who couldn't hear the rules as well. And then we were like, just, I can't believe this. I was on Twitter. People were giving me like advice, like Julia, I don't know if she'll watch this, but Julia was giving me some advice and that was really, really sweet and I appreciated that a lot. And everybody's trying to prepare themselves, but you really can't, like in that moment, it's so much shock that you can't even think, like you can't even process what's going on yet. So then they take us down to the floor and I don't remember which way they took us. I just remember that we walked to the rep room and it was a short walk and like basically what happened, the duration of the walk was us talking about what we wanted our post to be and we kind of just agreed on it right away. We were all like okay with it and that's why I loved Adie and her mom because we were all on the same page the whole night and I could not have asked for better people to be with. They were amazing and I'll forever be grateful for them. So then we discuss our photo, we agree on it, and then we're basically there. Okay guys, I need to explain how I was feeling this entire time, like before going into the rep room, while I was in there meeting Taylor and afterwards. I was in a state of so much shock, like it was so surreal that I couldn't process and react to things like I normally could. So it took like a long time to process and react to everything. So like there were things that happened too, there were some things that happened and I couldn't process it till after and I like didn't even notice in the moment that it was happening till later when I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, that was going on. I don't know why I didn't react to it. And then a lot of my reactions were just like an instinct. They were just like, just say this, just say that. And in my brain I was like, just say this, you're like, just get this out, like just say something so you're in the moment, so you're part of the conversation. Like that was what a lot of what was going on during that time. So like when I say like, oh, I said something lame, it's because it was just the first thing that came to my mind to say because I was like, I want to say something. and like that's why like sometimes when I was with Taylor, I'm sure I was just like that the whole time, like just shocked and I didn't even know what to say because I was like, Taylor Swift, is that you? Like that one meme from the Billboard Awards, I was like, wait. So yeah, so that's how I was feeling the whole time and I think that's really important to understand and it seriously took me like 2 or 3 days to even believe I actually met her. So I'm still kind of like, did that really happen? But it did finally hit me at one point, like everything hit me at once and I was like, okay. So yeah, but you just need to understand that's how I was feeling going forward with this part of the story. So yeah. There's a table where you have to put all of your stuff and I've met another celebrity before, it was the same thing. And you can only bring either a camera or your phone with you. And so I brought my phone and we start walking in and we're like taking pictures and they're like, guys, keep going, keep walking in, you can come back out later and take pictures. And we're like, okay. And so I just immediately am like, okay, I'm gonna take as many pictures as possible. And Adie and her mom wanted me to because my phone had the better quality. So I just was taking every picture I possibly could, everything I wanted to take a picture of, and I did. And they had drinks in there. They had room temperature water, cold water, Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, and if I'm not mistaken, I swear to God I saw like a Gatorade or a fruit juice, but I don't remember, and if that was there was like maybe 2 or 3. They also had pizza and cookies. They did not have like those decorative rep room cookies that somebody posted a picture of. I think that's only for pre-show. I don't know. These were just normal cookies. Guys, I swear to God, every story I've ever heard of anybody getting like Loft, Club Red, Tea Party, I was always like, I would eat pizza. Are you kidding me? Everybody would always say, I couldn't eat. And I'm like, I would, if I could, I'd get the chance to say I got to eat in the rep room or whatever. Guess what? I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat at all. And I was like, well, in that moment I was like, well, I'm a hypocrite now. I just couldn't eat. I was in so much shock. And so basically then we got in line to take a picture with the throne. If you didn't know, they have the original Look What You Made Me Do throne in the rep room. And okay, you can tell it's the original because number one, I'm about 5'3"-ish and Taylor's like really tall. And so I could not, if I sat all the way back in the throne, I could not reach the floor with my feet. And so, like, I was sitting on the edge too, and only my tiptoes were touching the floor. And the arms were really big, like the arms of the chair were really big, and they were kind of scratched up. And so I was like, oh my God, it's real. It's like, this is it. And so that was insane, and I was like so lucky. We got a Polaroid with that, and we also got pictures on our phone with it. And then we also, while we were waiting in line for that though, because people were taking a long time, we went outside and took pictures in front of the rep room, and we took pictures of the 4 costumes that they have in these light up box cases. There's the rainbow dress, the delicate dress, the fluffy like rep black, like I think it's a not jumpsuit, romper that Taylor wears in Look What You Made Me Do video, and the red one she wears when she's sitting on the throne from that music video as well. Those were there. I got a really good picture of them. Okay, I'm really happy about that. And so then we take those pictures, and we just kind of, while we were waiting in line, I was just trying to do as much as I could. And we got our pictures, and then I kind of sat down on the couch because I was like, I don't know what to do with myself now because I got like so many pictures. And I was just thinking back to when Taylor posted that like videos of the room in her Instagram story, and I was just like, wow, this is real. Like, I'm actually here. when I watch those videos, I could only have dreamed of being in here right now. And now I am. You know, I was like, what? And then soon after that, this did not take a long time, okay? Like, this was kind of short. Like, you would think you'd have more time in there before Taylor came out, but you definitely don't. So, like, if you do get this opportunity, take as many pictures as you can as fast as possible because there's not that much time. And I would say get in line for the throne right away. And if you have somebody with you, have them wait while you're taking pictures and doing other stuff. So, yeah. Then the girl from Taylor Nation goes, okay, you have to put your phones away. Taylor will be coming in shortly or something like that. And we put our phones away. And guys, I swear to God, a couple moments pass by and I forget that we have to have our phones put away. So I was like, why am I just sitting here doing nothing? And I'm still sitting on the couch, and I take out my phone and I start taking more selfies. And I only took maybe 7, but they're all of the same thing, okay? And then I put my phone away and I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't supposed to be doing that. And I am so lucky nobody saw me, and if they did, that they didn't say anything, because I seriously did not mean to do that. It was just kind of like, I was kind of delirious at this point. So I was lucky about that, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm not taking it out again. But shortly after that, they say, okay guys, like they warn us, but they don't say what's happening, but we know that it's Taylor coming in, and you see somebody like grab the curtain, and she like kind of waits there for a moment with the curtain grabbed, and then like all of a sudden she just goes, with this dramatic open, she goes, hey guys, and she kind of does this cute little hop or like this lean, like, hey guys, and she's like all tall and awkward, but in the cutest way possible, like in a good way, you know what I mean? I was just like, ah, and I was sitting down, okay, and I was like, is that actually her? Like, I was like, no, that's not really her, is it? Basically where I was, the curtain area was like right here, and then there was a couch, and I was sitting on the couch all the way on this end. I don't know why I didn't sit on the other end, I just didn't. That was that was the end right next to the Look What You Made Me Do throne, so that's probably why, because we were taking pictures with it. So I just sat down to wait, and then that's just where I stayed. But I was there, so I was really close, and I was just like, and guys, the only way I can describe her and describe like how flawless, like the best way I can do that is by calling her a moving wax figure, because it's true. Like she's so, like she looks just so flawless in person. I was just like, she's not real, because she looks as though she's like animated or something. Like she's literally so perfect. It was so hard to think how like she was real, and like I was just like, what? And so she starts talking and she goes something like, my mom tells me there's a really good group here tonight, and then she goes and she introduces Martha Hunt and Ashley, who are also there, and she goes, this is Martha Hunt, she was in the Bad Blood music video. And then she goes and she mentions Ashley, and she's like, and this is Ashley, and she looks at Ashley and she starts playing with her hair, like messing up her hair like this, right? And it was the cutest thing ever, and she's going like, this is Ashley, I've known her for a really long time, and like she was like laughing and smiling at her as if there was like some inside joke, and it was so cute. And she's just messing up her hair, and I'm like, and then she goes, and then somebody, I don't remember who, but some people like open the curtains all the way, then they just basically show a bunch of other people who are in there. She's like, and my whole family's here, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody's here, and like they flew in, blah blah blah. And then she goes, finally she's like, I'll unleash them to you guys now, and then like said something like, I'll see you later, I'll see you inside, or blah blah blah, something like that. And she goes back in the curtain, and Taylor Nation immediately calls out, first group, and I was like, I'm scared of them now. And guys, after all that happened, I was standing up. I was like, when did I stand up through all of this? And so I was standing up, and Martha Hunt was like right there, so we just kind of naturally like came up to each other, and I was like, oh, I saw you guys, like I just wanted to say something. This was really lame, but I just wanted to say something to Martha Hunt, right? And I was like, oh my god, I saw you guys earlier. I wanted to say hi, but you guys were kind of far away, and I didn't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, was it at the beginning or the end of the show? And she was so nice, guys. And I go, and I'm like really out of it at this point. I was like, I think it was at the beginning. Yeah, it was at the beginning. Like, there was no way it was at the end. It was at the beginning. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's at the beginning. She's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then she sees Adia's mom, who's right next to me. And mind you, I don't know where Adia is right now. I don't know why she wasn't there, but I just remember this because Adia's mom was right next to me. And she goes, oh, you're the one who dressed up as Champagne. And Adia's mom was like, yeah. She's like, we were talking about you backstage. And both of us are like, and then your mom's going, really? And she was like, yeah, we were talking about how someone dressed up as Champagne. And they said something a little bit, and then Andrea saw us, and she walked up to us, and I think Adia was like around us because she then was there at this point. Like, I don't know what was going on. And then Mama Swift comes up to us, and she's trying to get to us, but there's a coffee table in front of the couch, and she goes, oh, I need to move this. I need to be closer to you. And she moves the coffee table. I'm like, queen. And Adia's mom starts saying stuff to her, and she says something like, thank you for your daughter, or something like that. And I go, yeah, she's done so much for us. And Andrea goes, well, to be fair, Taylor made it easy for me. And I'm like, I'm dying right now. And then I think Mama Swift, she's like, you guys want to get a picture? And we're like, sure. And we're like kind of trying, sorry, that was my dog. And we're kind of trying to like situate ourselves. And so then she's like, okay, this person from Taylor Nation will take it for us. And it was on a Polaroid. And at first, like, something happened where the Polaroid like didn't work. I don't know why. And then we're like, yeah, can we get it on our phone too? And like Mama Swift gave us permission, and she's like, yeah, here, she'll take it. And I gave her my phone, and we got the picture. And then apparently we got our Polaroid too. I don't remember that, but we had it by the end of this. And then right after that, Taylor Nation calls out, next group. And we're probably the third group to go at this point, if I'm not mistaken. And third or fourth, something like that. And Andrea, she goes, you're next. And she kind of just pushes us into the gates of heaven. Like, she just sends us to Taylor, and I'm like, ah! So that happened. And apparently, I didn't know this because I was going in, but Mama Swift asked Adia if she wanted a selfie as well. And so Adia got a selfie right before she walked in too, so that happened. And then we walk in, Adia's mom goes first, Taylor hugs her, then I go in and Taylor hugs me, and then Adia comes in and Taylor gives her a hug, and Adia right away, she brought her icy costume because she wanted to show Taylor. And oh, before I say that, this is what Taylor was wearing when she met us. It's literally her own merch. You can get it on her website. And I couldn't like process anything, right? Like I couldn't really react to much, but I vaguely remember her wearing this, and I only remembered that after like we were in the car on the way back home. But yeah, so that's what she was wearing. And Adia shows her her icy costume first. And Adia goes, and Taylor sees it and she goes, "Oh, that's great," or something along those lines. And Adia then like takes it off, and I think she hands it to a Taylor Nation person because she didn't want it to be in our picture, right? Whatever. And um, and then Taylor sees that she's wearing like the 1989 outfit, and Taylor goes, "Is this like a 1989 outfit going on?" And Adia's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I reused the top from my prom dress." And Taylor's saying something, and then she goes like, "You cut your prom dress?" She's gonna say like dedication or like that's crazy. And Adia and I kind of like look at each other and kind of like hesitate a little bit because we're like, no, but we didn't want to like correct Taylor Swift, right? So we kind of, but then we're like, no, it was a 2-piece, and I was like, it's a crop top, and she's like, oh. And I love Taylor because she's so cute. And then I go, yeah, and my prom dress was sparkly and gold, and I used this eyeshadow that was called Snakebite. And Taylor goes, wow, you're so detail oriented. And I just died inside because like, that was, I guess, the first thing Taylor said to me. Called me detail-oriented. and then Adia says, like, I think Adia says, "By the way, thanks for planning this on the weekend of my graduation." And me and Adia's mom are like, yeah, she graduates on Sunday. I think Taylor goes, and she goes, "We did that on purpose. People tell me I'm very calculated about these things." And I just died because I was like, you may not know it, but yes, you are. And so I didn't say anything, right? I was still, the whole time I was probably just like I was just in so much shock that most of the time I don't even think I reacted. I think Adia's mom goes in and says, oh, like, she wants to be a songwriter, or like something you inspire her to write songs, and Adia says something about it. I don't really remember what she says, but she does, and then I go and I say, speaking of that, I wrote a song for you. And I like interrupt myself, and I'm like, I don't write to be anything or to do anything. I just write for myself. And she like gives me this look, and she's like, wow, like that's amazing. Like she was so appreciative of that. And I go, yeah, and I wrote it for you, and it's on my Tumblr, and I told her my Tumblr URL, and I like messed it up, but it said it, and then she's like, oh my god, thank you so much. Like she like thanked me for writing a song about her, and I was just like, is this real life? And I like say something like, yeah, if you ever see it, that would mean so much to me. And she's like, thank you. And then I think Adia's mom, like, by the way, I don't really remember everything that happened in order when we were talking to her, but all of this happened. I just am not 1,000% sure on the order, so I'm telling you in the order I think it happened. And I think Adia's mom goes, oh, like this one, it was, I don't remember the order, but I'm just gonna go. She goes like, this one got me into listening to you because she made me listen to Breathe. And she goes, I thought it would be like high school, like musical stuff. And Taylor goes, well, it's very high school. Like her music is very high school, and it's very musical, like sarcastic, because like it's actual music. Anyways, so, and I laugh, and I was like, no, but we love it. And she kind of gives me a confused look, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying. And like you could tell like she was kind of overwhelmed too, because we were all like trying to say everything we could as fast as possible, but she was like, she's like, she could handle it, you know what I mean? Anyway, so then Adia's mom says something like, oh, and my son got a grand slam tonight in like baseball, and Taylor goes, wow, everything's happening for you tonight. And Taylor high fives each of us, and I swear she's only gonna high five Adia's mom, and then she comes around and I'm the second one, and I don't even slap my hand back because I didn't think she was gonna high five me, and I just put it up and she like slaps it, and I'm like, ooh. what just happened. She high-fives Adia, and then I think there was like a little moment, and like Adia's mom goes, oh, how are the cat? Like, she goes, the cats. And like her and Ada are like, how are the cats? And Taylor goes, she's talking about them. She's like, oh, you know, they're really they're really fuzzy or fluffy. I don't remember which word she uses, but I think she used fluffy. And I go, that's important. Because why wouldn't I? And she's like, she's like telling us about them, and it was really cute. And I think she said something like, oh, they're at home or something like that. I don't remember. And then, okay, wait, breathe, grand slam, okay, and then I really hope I'm not forgetting anything, but then I'm pretty sure this is where I go, Taylor, so I try to get her attention, I say her name, and I put my hands out, because I don't know why, I guess that was something, like, I was just like, Taylor. And Taylor like starts playing with my hands. She starts going like this. So both my hands are out. She starts like clapping them and going like this and kind of jumping and clapping them. And I'm just like, and I kind of look at him. I'm like, what is she doing right now? I'm like, she's the cutest, most precious human being in the entire world. And she's like playing with them. And I say, I love dancing with our hands tied. And I meant to like say it was my favorite song, but I was like, I love dancing with our hands tied. And she's like, I'm so glad I played it tonight. She's like, well, I'm so glad I played it tonight. And I'm like, yeah, and then I keep going because this is like, and like there was a moment of like hesitation or there was a moment where I like forget because I'm just like, oh my god, and then my brain is like immediately like, no, like you will regret this for the rest of your life if you forget exactly what you're gonna say. This is all you wanted to tell her, like just say it, remember, and do it. And right then I was like, okay, I remember. And I go, it's gotten me through so much this year. And I say, and call it what you want. And I kind of like and she's like holding my hands at this point, so I like let go of one and I kind of like show her my dress. I like open my dress and I'm like, call it what you want, like to show like this is what my dress is for. It gives me so much hope that I can be happy like you one day. And oh my god, guys, okay, this is where I get emotional. Okay, I'm gonna try not to cry, but and then she goes, you know, we'll never feel one emotion. Like, we're always gonna feel different emotions. There'll be moments where we're happy, where we're not, we'll be confused, stuff like that. And then she goes, you know, there's days when you wake up and you're just like, oh, everybody hates me. And Adia's mom goes, oh, that's her. And she points to Adia, and Taylor like looks at them and she nods at them. And guys, I swear to God, she's like giving me like a tour speech. It's like a clean speech or a delicate speech. And I can't even believe what's going on in front of me right now. I'm like shook. It's like this like advice, and I'm like I'm like shaking because I held out my hands and they're like too. She's like holding them, and then after she looks at them, she looks back at me and she's like, but you can be fulfilled with your life. And she goes like, right now I'm fulfilled with my life, or something like that. Like she says, you can be fulfilled. Right now I'm fulfilled with my life. And she's looking me in the eyes this entire time, and I like never look away from her. I stare at her as much as I possibly can so I could remember, and like I was like, is this real? Is she real? And she's telling me this. And I think I say something like, thank you after that, because I was like, I don't even know what to say. I was just like, okay, like, thank you. And then I think she looks over at Taylor Nation. She's like, okay, do you guys want to get a picture? And this whole time, Taylor Nation was like, let's get a picture, let's get a picture. But Taylor wasn't even paying attention to them. And I was like, queen. And like the whole time that was happening, but like I said before, like I couldn't process any of it, like I couldn't react to that, and I was so focused on Taylor, so I just wanted to remember everything she was telling to me, and I wanted to memorize like what she looked like, that I like totally couldn't even react or process that in the moment, but I remembered that that afterwards, like I said before, I think. Anyways, so then so then we get into a pose, and she kind of like just did the pose we wanted to do without us even having to tell her. I was like, are you like a sidekick or something? She's literally, I was like, wow, Taylor Swift is really God. That moment I was like, Taylor's God, okay. And so then I'm on her left side. Well, you'll see the picture. Then I ask her, I'm like, can I hold your hand? And she's like, yeah, like, she's like, sure. She just no hesitation, she just grabs my hand, and then she warns us. She's like, okay guys, like the flash is really bright, so be prepared, or something like that. And I was really happy she did, because my eyes are super small and sensitive to light, so I could have been like this in my picture, but thankfully I wasn't, because Taylor Swift warned me the flash was bright. And she's holding my hand, and then all of a sudden she just kind of leans her head on mine. And it's all I've ever wanted. And she leans her head on mine, and her hair kind of like, say this is my face, her hair just kind of falls into my face like that. And I'm like, there's literally a moment, I swear to God, where my face was like, oh my God, her hair can't be in my face. Like, you have to be able to see my face in the picture. So I kind of like move my face over her hair. Because I didn't want to like move. I didn't know when they were going to take the pictures. I was just like, okay. And I got it out, and she's leaning her head on mine. I can remember the way it felt. And then we take the picture. And then Taylor goes, and this whole time Taylor Nation's saying like, we have to get another one, we have to get another one. But Taylor, none of us pay attention. And Taylor goes and she hugs Adia, and she goes like this. And I'm right behind Adia because of how we were in the picture. And Taylor hugs her, and she makes this face, and she goes, like this, the most precious face you'd ever see. And I think it's because Adia had her icy costume on, so I don't think Taylor could hug her that well at first. I don't know, like ask Adia how her hug was, her first hug, but Taylor really gave her like the tightest, most precious hug, and it was so amazing. And her face is literally like inches from mine. Her face is like right here, okay guys? And her eyes are closed, and I just stare at her. I'm just like, I just laughed. I just stared at her, and if she had opened her eyes at that point, she would think I'm a complete creep. And I was just like, because her face was so close to mine. And that's when I know she had this really pretty gold sparkly eyeshadow, and like, oh, I loved it so much. She had like this light pink like lipstick on or something, and I was just like, she really is perfect. Like, she was so close. I was like, she really is flawless. Like, people say that, but it's true. And then when she pulls away, Taylor, like, we all notice, like, oh, we need to get another one. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then since we had to quickly get in our pose again, Taylor grabs the first hand she can, and it was this one. And my, like, 13 is gone, but it was the hand with the 13. So I'm actually kind of happy that we got another picture, because my 13 is in our picture together. But because of that, she didn't grab my hand with her other hand. The hand that she, like, put around Adia, she just used, like, her 2 fingers to grab my hand. Because, like, guys, you could tell she knew that I really wanted that. Like, I really wanted to be holding her hand. And she still, like, even though, like, she was in, like, the pose and it wasn't the same as before, she still did that. Like, she still knew that that meant a lot to me, and she still made sure to do that. And I'm, like, so thankful for that. And then I really don't remember anything else about the picture, but besides that she was holding me with 2 fingers. But I think my hand was on her shoulder and her hand was on my shoulder. And I can only guess that because of the picture. You can kind of see my hand, you can see her hand. So, like, you can kind of tell, like, that's what was going on, but I don't remember that. And then after that, we are walking out, and I'm the last one to walk out because of where I was in my picture again. And we're kind of like looking back and like, whatever, they're saying thank you. And Adia and her mom had already walked out, and I'm about to leave, and I am like looking back, and she goes, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Okay, and then she goes, in the most sincerest and genuine tone, she goes, you are so beautiful. And she's like nodding her head, and I'm like looking at her, and I don't remember if I said thank you or even how I reacted, but I was like, and I'm like walking out, and either Adia's mom gets handed our autographs, or I get handed to them. At some point I ended up having them. That's how I gave them to everybody. And we walk out, and I'm like, Taylor Swift just called me beautiful. And Adia and her mom don't remember because they were already out the room. So I was just like, did that really happen? And it did. And it was so sincere. Like, she really meant it. And I was like, I'm never going to think I'm ugly ever again. And so that happened. And we walked out, and Adia realized she left one of her Polaroids in the rep room, and we wait to see if somebody can go get it, and like somebody comes out with the next, like, guys, like, I swear to God, like, the people after us didn't get that much time with her, because we waited like not even a minute, and after we walked out, and they were already there. So like, it was kind of insane. we had like a long time. At least to me, it felt like we had a long time. And this all happened, everything inside the rep room, or all the moments since we took the picture with Andrea and once we got outside to the getaway shop, which I'll talk about, that all happened in the span of 15 minutes. And so we at least had to have 5 minutes with Taylor, because there's no way we could have said all that stuff and she could have said all that stuff to us in less than 5 minutes. I'm guessing it was probably maybe 6 or 7, but it couldn't have been more than that. But it could not have been less than 5 minutes. I swear to God, okay? Anyways, so that happens, and we ask the dude, he says, oh, I'll try. Then we walk out, Papa Swift is talking to another fan, and we're kind of waiting. We don't even know what to do either. We don't know where to go, but then we eventually go grab our things, and Adia, like, because the dude never comes back, obviously, and he, like, when he did come back, when we did see him, Adia was about to say something, and he was like, no, sorry, I couldn't find it, and he just went back. When we were grabbing our stuff, that's when it hit me that it all happened. And I was, like, grabbing my posters, and I was grabbing my purse, and I was, like, and I started, like, I was about to cry because that's when it hit me, and I was like, oh my God, and she called me beautiful, and I like didn't want to cry in front of the security guards, and there wasn't much people around, so I know it would be loud, so I go and I'm like breathing heavily and nervously, and I'm like, that just happened, Taylor just called me beautiful. I couldn't process anything else but that. And then we're walking out, and we were really close to the exit, and right as soon as we, like, the getaway shop was right at the exit we left from, and right on our way back to the car, so we took a picture in front of it, and then we went to the car, and on the way home we were just talking about it and everything, and once we got to the place we were staying for the night, we stayed up till 4 a.m. This all happened, we probably got to the place we were staying at around 1-ish, and we stayed up till 4 because, number one, we couldn't sleep, and we were just talking about it. And the more we talked about it, the more I remembered, the more I was just writing everything down in my notes so I wouldn't forget. And that's why I don't remember the order, because everything in my notes is out of order. I remembered everything out of order. And actually, as soon as I got in the car, I was like, wait, what did I say first? And I'm like, and then I posted a picture of me with the Rep Room Pass on Tumblr. I had no idea Taylor was on, so by that time, she was done meeting fans, and Taylor liked it, and I was like, what? I was like, oh my God, I like freaked out. I was like, she just met me, and she just liked my post on Tumblr? That's not real life, is it? And that's also when I got locked out of my Twitter account. I'm still trying to get it back, but I'm tweeting off of a different account right now. It's my backup. I have a friend who the same thing happened to her, and she ended up getting hers back, so I have hope that I can possibly get my account back. So hopefully that'll happen, and I'll link it below anyways. Like, I'll put my username, and if I do get it back, I'll link it below, but I'll have my backup, which I'm on right now, below as well. So anyways, so that happened, and and yeah, the next day we got our picture in the car on our way to the show, and I had just done my makeup. I didn't do a full face because, like, I cried everything off before the show even started the night before, so I was like, I'm not gonna do a lot, I'm just gonna do some so I can get pictures with my friends, and that's what I did, and so in the car when we got it, I didn't even see it yet. I just saw that it started loading because we had been checking before. I saw that it started loading. I literally started crying, and I had to fan myself because I was like, you can't cry right now. You have makeup on. You can't cry right now. Like, you have to wait for the pictures. And I was just, guys, that was like the happiest days of my life. And I'm so thankful. Like, I really needed that. Taylor does show up when you need her most. And I don't mean that in the way like, oh, when you're at your lowest point in life, Taylor will meet you. I mean it, there's a time in your life where you're gonna need that memory, and you're gonna need that experience to help you get through it. And I really needed that. So yeah. That was my story about meeting Taylor Swift. I hope you enjoyed. Again, there's a detailed written out version linked below on my Tumblr, and I might make a video with all the pictures and videos I have from that night. I don't know yet. I might, and if I do, it'll take a little longer for that to be up, but I might do that, so stick around. I'll link it down below if I do make it. And yeah, follow me on social media. I love helping other Swifties. I'll reblog any post, I'll retweet any post, like just ask me. I know some people think it's rude if you just send a link, but I get it. If you just send me a link, you don't need to like sugarcoat anything. Just send me a link, I will reblog it or retweet it. I got you. So yeah, that was my story. That's how I met Taylor Swift.